Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll discuss the third noble truth called Nirodha. This truth reveals that suffering can come to an end. Nirodha teaches us that we can overcome suffering by letting go of our desires and attachments. When we understand what causes our suffering and learn to release our cravings, we can find peace and happiness. Essentially, this truth shows us that it's possible to lead a more fulfilling life and move closer to enlightenment. So, after watching the two videos we've discussed, we're getting pretty familiar with the idea that life can feel like a never-ending ocean of suffering, like being stuck on a sinking ship with no lifeboat in sight. But here's the kicker. When the Buddha talks about all this pain, he's not trying to turn life into a gloomy horror movie. Seriously, if life were just a dark, rainy day with no umbrellas, who would want to stick around? Imagine if that was the whole story. We'd all be sitting around feeling miserable, questioning our life choices like, what's the point of eating ice cream if it's just going to melt away? But that's not how it works. The Buddha isn't here to throw us a pity party. He's actually offering a roadmap to real happiness. Think about it this way. When you're super hungry, that first bite of pizza tastes like pure heaven. Or when you're struggling financially, finding a few extra bucks in your pocket feels like winning the lottery. And don't even get me started on the joy of feeling healthy after being sick. It's like discovering a hidden treasure chest of joy buried under all that discomfort. So, Buddhism isn't just about highlighting all the sad stuff to make us feel like we're stuck in a soap opera. Instead, it's about understanding where all this suffering comes from. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. Not the most fun task, but once you get to the core, you can start figuring out how to cook up some happiness. The goal is to find a path that leads us to true. In short, the teachings of the Buddha are here to help us navigate the choppy waters of life, showing us that while suffering is part of the journey, there's also a way to find joy along the way. So grab your metaphorical life jacket, and let's dive into discovering that happiness. Nirodha, or the mind of Anusvara, is all about achieving a state of mind that's free from all those pesky defilements, like greed, anger, ignorance, pride, and doubt. Imagine a mind that's so clear and calm. It's like a serene lake on a windless day. When we get rid of these negative qualities, that's when true liberation happens. Not just some abstract concept. It's all about completely ending suffering, going right to the root and pulling it out like a stubborn weed in your garden. Picture this. A state where you feel totally at peace, completely still, and utterly relaxed. That sounds dreamy, right? The cool part. Everyone has the potential to experience this state, even if they haven't practiced any specific teachings. If we just try to sit quietly for a moment, breath, and listen to your own mind, you might catch a glimpse of that stillness, even if it only lasts for a split second before life's distractions come rushing back in. Seriously, if anyone knows how to hold on to and protect this truth, they can experience liberation right away. It's all about your own mind. If you want to be free, focus on protecting and nurturing this truth, and you'll find that your body and mind will no longer suffer. Anyone seeking freedom just needs to recognize this truth. Once you do, simply living in line with it is enough to achieve enlightenment. The path to realization in Buddhism is actually pretty straightforward and not difficult at all. So, engaging with Buddhism means embracing immediate liberation, no waiting around for years of practice. Let's take a good look around us. Have you noticed how many people seem to be living their best lives on the surface? They're rocking the latest fashion, sporting big smiles, and chatting happily with friends at trendy cafes. But if you peek behind those cheerful facades, you might discover a different story altogether. Inside, a lot of them are wrestling with feelings of greed, resentment, anger, and plain old exhaustion. It's like they're all part of a secret club that no one wants to join. Take, for instance, that friend of yours who's always posting about their fabulous vacations and gourmet meals. You know, the type Instagram perfect life, right? But what you don't see is the stress they're under, trying to keep up with the latest trends, impress their boss, or find love in a sea of dating apps. It's exhausting just thinking about it. They're often driven by the need to chase after more money, bigger jobs, or even the perfect partner. But in reality, all this chasing leaves them feeling drained and anxious, like they've run a marathon without ever leaving their desk. Now, imagine if they had a breakthrough and realized that all this craving is what's keeping them in a state of chaos. What if they could just slow down and appreciate the little things? By learning to temper their desires, they could actually find some peace in the whirlwind of life. Picture this. Instead of fretting over the latest promotion or comparing themselves to others, they decide to spend a quiet evening at home, enjoying their favorite book or cooking a simple meal. In that moment, their mind could quiet down, and they'd experience something magical, a taste of paradise right in their living room. It's kind of like having a secret superpower. When we let go of that constant need for more money, more attention, more validation, we open up a whole new world of possibilities. Think about those times when you're out in nature, like at a park or by the beach. Instead of stressing over what's next on your to-do list, you're just soaking in the beauty around you, the sound of the waves, the chirping birds, or that perfect sunset. That's where true happiness hides, and it's just waiting for us to notice. So let's not get caught up in the endless cycle of wanting more. Instead, let's strive to embrace gratitude and enjoy the simple joys life has to offer. It doesn't matter how many likes your latest post gets or how big your paycheck is. What truly counts is the joy in those little moments, the laughter shared with friends, the warmth of the sun on your skin, or the satisfaction of a home-cooked meal. So, why not take a moment today to reflect on what really makes you happy? After all, creating your own little slice of heaven is as simple as shifting your perspective and choosing to live in the moment. And who knows? You might just find that paradise isn't a destination. It's a state of mind. When we recognize this state of inner stillness, it's like flipping a switch. For anyone seeking liberation, all you really need to do is acknowledge this truth. Once you grasp it, simply living in alignment with that understanding is your ticket to enlightenment. Seriously, it's that straightforward. Think about it. Have you ever had one of those moments where everything just clicks? Maybe you were sitting in a quiet park, listening to the rustle of leaves, and suddenly felt a wave of calm wash over you. That's what I'm talking about. In those moments, you're not overthinking or stressing about the future. You're just there, fully present. That's the essence of what it means to live in harmony with this truth. It's like discovering that the best way to enjoy a beautiful sunset is simply to stop, breathe, and appreciate it. No fancy tools or complicated rituals required. So, you don't have to wait around for 5 or 10 years, struggling through endless practices. You can start feeling that sense of peace and clarity right now. Imagine walking into a room and instantly feeling at home. That's the kind of immediate comfort and relief we're talking about here. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, recognizing this state of stillness can be a game changer. You might be in a crowded cafe, and while everyone around you is buzzing with noise and activity, you can find your own quiet corner within. It's about being grounded and centered, even when life gets a little busy. So remember, it's not about making this journey complicated. It's about embracing simplicity and realizing that enlightenment isn't a far-off destination, something you can access in your everyday life. Just by being aware and present, you're already on the path. So why not take a moment today to breathe, reflect, and tap into that inner stillness? You might be surprised at how liberating it can feel. And that wraps up our exploration today. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I hope you found some valuable insights and maybe even a little inspiration. Remember, true happiness comes from within, and it's all about appreciating the little things in life. Until next time, take care, stay mindful, and keep seeking that inner peace. See you soon.